So 108 was really interesting. You spoke with Gerry Meade from Hub Group, and this was at a really interesting time when it comes to the impacts of COVID and the supply chain on our industry. So, how about you fill us in on that?
Yeah, so if you remember back at that time, COVID and the lockdowns had shut manufacturing down, shut shipping down, and the whole world had basically come to a stop. And getting everything going again was proving more difficult than any of us would ever realize at the time. And the supply chain had basically completely collapsed. And so parts was a major issue. People couldn't get their hands on parts. I remember like people running out of things like 3600A drums, the most common drum in the world. In episode 108, we had Gerry Meade on, and he at the time was the executive vice president of Hub Group, and they have thousands and thousands of trailers and trucks, a very large nationwide fleet. And he alerted me to something that was really, I think, an important, maybe let's say, milestone in my career as well. He talked about parts visibility, and he said, prior to the pandemic and the supply chain collapse, fleets were focused on driver shortages and technician shortages, but they weren't really paying attention to what it was costing them when they lost visibility of parts that were in transit to them. And the supply chain really, really brought that to the forefront. Fast forward a couple years, and I am also not only the host of this show and the CEO of our consulting company, but I'm a co-founder of a company called VisiParts. And we are right now building technology. We're working and looking for partners to help build this technology that's going to bring greater visibility to the end user, the people who need it, the fleets, the owner operators, the repair shops who are buying the part. So little did I know way back then in episode 108 that one conversation was actually going to lead to many more conversations with fleets and eventually would lead me to getting a company funded by a venture capitalist and being a co-founder of this technology company.
That's amazing. It's funny how those little things that you don't even realize they're happening, right? They then suddenly lead to something huge that's potentially going to change this industry. So we'll keep an eye on that.